Howdy folks, Sapper here, aka Sean, and well, I wrapped this game up, and it's about time too. It started to drag out. You know, you always hate Arkham when you get close to the end. It starts to drag, especially when things happen that are just kind of agitating, right? Like, I don't play with gate bursts for a reason, just because it's hard enough to seal gates anyway, and then you get a gate burst, and then so it just ruins. Number one, it ruins everything that you just did, and number two, it just adds it adds time to the game. It's like, okay, enough already. Like, let me see, this was the last gate I was working on. I had 5, so I had sealed this one. That's Independence Square, Graveyard, Black Cave, Witch House, and the Woods. So I had 5 gates sealed, and like a couple of the last 2 or 3 Mythos cards that I flipped over were gate bursts. And when you're that close to the end, it's agitating, number one, and then number two, it just adds time to the game, which I find that an unnecessary mechanic. So I don't play with gate bursts for that reason right there. Because number one, I just wanted to end the game. But so the game is over. I won. Hoster did not awaken. The King in Yellow was a flop. Some crucial things that actually happened. There was this, basically, like, all these dudes right here and these dudes here. Let me see, was that one of them? Yeah, I think just about all of these monsters, well, with the exception of these 2 serpent people, they were over here. All these monsters were, I want to say, 2 of them were here. 2 of the tough ones. I know this crawling one, I think, in a witch. It was either a witch or a maniac. They were sitting here, and Culver was sitting here. So I was like, oh, good grief, I'm going to have to fight these dudes. The maniac doesn't really bother me a whole lot. He's pretty weak. But this crawling one is a pretty tough dude. So he's got physical resistance, and then it says, before making a combat check against crawling one, roll the die. X is equal to the roll. So, and just like any other Arkham game, right? I would inevitably roll a 6. So it'd be -6 to the roll. Or I'd get 6 less dice to attack this dude. Well, good old Rex Murphy here had this one card. He had the Milk of Shub-Niggurath, which basically says discard milk to move all non-spawn monsters in play to your current location, then reduce your sanity to 0 and go insane. And I've drawn this card a couple times. I'm like, this is a garbage card. Well, Rex was sitting here, and I saw that as my way to clear out Dunwich, with the exception of the Dunwich Horror, because the Dunwich Horror is a spawn monster, and spawn monsters aren't affected by that card. So I saw that as my way to get Jim Culver to one of these 2 gates. Both of these gates were the same. They were both Ugoth gates. So I saw that as my opening. Hey, this card has finally shown its usefulness. And I think a lot of the cards in Arkham, you look at them and you're like, this thing is garbage, but there's a lot of cards that are very situational, and that was a situational card, and it actually paid off. It allowed Rex to pave the way, go insane, and then let Jim go to another world, traverse through that, and win the game. So, there's the kind of the final board disposition. We did have the Dunwich Horror in play. Final Terror track. There was a lot of Blight cards in play, 4 Blight cards in play. A couple locations were closed. The general store was closed due to the terror track, and then there was it was a Mythos card that closed the general store. No, I'm sorry, the general store was closed, and then there was a Mythos card that closed the boarding house and removed all allies from play, which it wasn't that big of a deal. I wasn't getting a whole lot of allies anyway. Final disposition over here, we have Hoster. So I had probably four turns maybe. Well, a little more than that, because I kept drawing Mythos cards that had gates that were already sealed, so nothing was happening. Got our Blights right here. King in Yellow, Miskatonic, never really that Institution or Herald or whatever. Not Herald. What are the good guys? I can't remember what the good guys are called, but never got a chance to use. I think all the good ones, none of them really do anything. They're like, it's impossible to activate those guys. So it's like, here we go. We're gonna give you, Arkham is like, we're gonna put some things that help out the investigators, but they don't really help. Act 2, I made it to Act 2, and it was getting kind of sketchy there. I could have delayed Act 2 by discarding an Elder Sign on the board, and I'm just like, with 5 of them on the board, I was like, nope, not happening. Patrice Hathaway, she is able to, other investigators are allowed to use her clue tokens as if they were theirs. That is awesome. It's a great ability, and one that I used a lot in this game. Really, really helped out. Had a Silver Twilight Lodge membership, which I used a couple of times, which a couple of the times, or I think maybe one time it actually worked, or it gave me something good. We got Harvey here. We can see we've got a wound. Harvey's got a wound. Harvey had some pretty good stuff. The Enchanted Blade is always good. Alien Device is good. Rex Murphy, man, this guy, dude, his backstory is he starts with a curse. He's got some kind of family curse, and he could never shake it. I was able to get rid of the curse. I think Rex was blessed 2 or 3 different times, and I always lost the blessing, which is, it's just crazy, dude. Like, what are the odds that you're gonna get blessed multiple times and then still lose the blessing? Well, that's Arkham for you, right? He also had a Silver Twilight Lodge membership. He had necrophobia and agoraphobia and a head wound, so I'm telling you, Rex was beat the hell up. But he hung in there. Had a bunch of clues, and he also gains an extra clue every time you gain a clue, which is awesome. So between him and Patrice Hathaway, they were doing really well. Of course, there's his monsters. Harvey had 1 gate token and a bunch of monsters. He had turned a gate token in too. Jim Culver, this dude, man, he was a basket case. Actually, now those are the injuries, so he was just a walking accident. So concussion, back injury, and hearing loss. So yeah, he was hurting. Ended up losing his golden trumpet. Cracked it over some monster's head. Lost that. He got the Azure Flame, which is actually pretty cool. All of them, every single investigator completed their personal story, which is, I think that's the first time I've ever been able to do that. But Jim's, his personal story is, when you complete it, let me see. Well, first of all, Jim may spend 1 clue token to automatically pass a combat check against an undead monster. So that's a pretty good ability. But once you complete his personal story, every time an undead monster appears in Arkham, you can just immediately claim it as a trophy. So that is awesome. And I was able to get rid of a lot of undead monsters, especially, no, that's a Spectral Hunter. I got 2 ghosts here, and ghosts are tough. I mean, they don't move. They only have 1 toughness, but they have physical immunity. You lose a lot of sanity, and you can lose a lot of stamina because of them. So just being able to instantly remove those, the way I played it, because the backstory says, or the personal story says monsters in Arkham. Well, you know what? So an undead ghost in Dunwich is different than an undead ghost in Arkham? Nah, I don't think so. So when I go to, the way I played it was when he moved to Dunwich, he would then immediately remove undead. But it wasn't until he actually traveled to Dunwich. I just didn't immediately remove them before I placed them. So that's kind of how I played that. Just little quirks and idiosyncrasies in the game. But so that's it. There's my setup. It's done. It's over with. Here's a card box. I got a broken token insert for it, just a generic one. Love it. I need another one though, because if you have everything with Arkham, you kind of need 2 of them, because I don't have, you know, I don't have all the cards mixed in there. Like the Miskatonic cards I don't have mixed in there. And then the smaller expansions, the Curse of the Dark Pharaoh, King in Yellow, Black Goat of the Woods, I keep those cards in the original boxes, so that way when I want to use that expansion I just pull that stuff out. But so insert's great, but there you have it, folks. Finally, I think I played this 4 times. I beat it 1 out of 4 times, which probably is not bad. It's probably about average, at least for me anyway. And so I think that'll probably do it. I got this job opportunity thing that I'm working on, so I don't think I'm going to get another game to the table because I might be leaving here in the next couple of weeks. So we'll see how that works out. But anyway, had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy this. And y'all be amazing, man. Zapper out.